So I'll start with the praise. Om Agnanatimirandasya Gnanajana Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namani. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namani. Namaste Saraswati Devam Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisheshnadi Pashrita Deshtarini. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Advaita Gadadhara Shivashadi Gaura Bhaktavranda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Okay. So hello everyone, Namaste, Hare Krishna. Welcome to our Gita study session. We are in the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. We completed 33 verses, and today we'll do this section from 34 to 42, and hopefully we'll try to finish this chapter. So this chapter is titled Transcendental Knowledge. In this chapter, Krishna talked about the Gnana element of Karma Yoga. A work done with proper knowledge is Karma Yoga. Otherwise, it's just a karma. Krishna talks about that and glorifies that knowledge one can attain by such practice of Karma Yoga. So I have been giving an overview.
Why would we make?
Sorry. Since I have been giving overview every session, so I'll skip the overview this time because I want to finish this chapter. And in the next session, when we do, I'll do a complete overview of this chapter in detail. Next session only will do overview of this chapter, and we take any questions if you have. But today, so I'll quickly jump on from 34 to 42. So we will look at what Krishna spoke from 25 to 33, attaining Gnana through sacrifice. Just a quick glimpse of it. And we'll start from 34 today. So just to understand the context, what Arjuna wants to do in the 3rd chapter, Arjuna thought to attain self-realization, he has to take Gnana Yoga, renounce the world, and practice that and attain. And Krishna says, that's not an easy path. You have to go through so many problems. I'll tell you the easy path, which you have been practicing. Just add knowledge to it. Just add knowledge to it. Work with proper consciousness. Being in this world, you don't have to renounce the world. You don't have to sacrifice your family, life, children, or your habits. Just be in this world. Work in this world with proper knowledge, with proper mindset, with proper consciousness. You can attain the same realization. Whatever the result that Gnana Yogi would attain, you will attain the same realization. You will attain the purification of mind. You'll get, you'll be aware that you're not this body, your soul. You're different from the body. And the purpose of your life is to attain the Supreme Lord. So everything, you don't have to renounce. You can still live in this world and attain the perfection and attain the knowledge. And Krishna gives various set of practices, different methods in Karma Yoga, or different practices one can take. I'll give a quick overview of this one. So 25. So Arjuna, you can take this practice, a worship by puja. Puja by offering paraphernalia or any other things to the Supreme Lord, to the deity form of the Supreme Lord. It could be various forms of the Supreme Lord you can do. So condition apply. While doing this, don't expect anything in return. Don't think like, I'll do this because I'll get something. It's not a business deal. Do with pure love and devotion. Any activity we do, selfless action, do a selfless action like a sacrifice. Okay. And 25b, Krishna talks about a little fire sacrifice by offering some grains and into the fire of Brahman. We talked about it in detail last time. And 26A, restraining from sense objects. It's a sense control. It's a control on the level of senses. It's like if a person wants to advance in spirituality, there are certain things are being set. One has to stay away from eating meat or intoxication, taking alcohol. One has to stay away. No, one cannot do whatever he wants and still attain the spiritual perfection. No. So one has to restrain himself from certain things. And here certain, we know some monks are, they go severe practices, severe austerities, try to restrain the senses. Basically, don't give this object of senses, don't get trapped into these various attractions, attractive things in this world which will disturb our consciousness or mindset. And 26B, about certain set of people, if a person watching the movie daily, he get attached to, he's so much attached to watching the movie, such person can do in a regulated way, regulated sense enjoyment. Not watching movie every day, but watching the devotional movies, or just watch the movies like once in a week and slowly learn, right? Slowly advance, still enjoy. So 26 is totally avoiding, and 26A is totally avoiding those things which would disturb our mind, and 26B is like in a regulated way, right? And 27, controlling the senses, organs, and also life air through mind. We went through that in detail. And 28, about charity. One can take this practice, Dravya Yajna. Dravya means any possessions. It's not just wealth. It could be your clothes, used clothes, or anything. So most of the time we are in the I and my zone, right? This is mine. I'm the owner of it. This belongs to me. This is meant for my enjoyment. So this kind of practice, with proper consciousness, okay, this belongs to me, this money belongs to me, I donate to the person who is in need, with proper consciousness that this is belongs to the God, this money doesn't belongs to me, this money belongs to the God, I'll donate it as a service to the Lord without expecting anything return, right? He's still doing the donation with proper mindset, proper consciousness. So donation could be any donation, like charity, right? Any charity, not just money, but anything in general. So by such one attain gnana, one come to the realization that he's not the body, his soul, and his purpose is meant, the purpose of life is meant for higher realization, right? And austerity, tapo yajna. Let me mute, okay. So tapo yajna, tapo means voluntarily taking some pains. It's also a sacrifice. Like fasting, it is said that there are various practices. One of the things is fasting on certain days, not eating certain kind of food. And in Chaturmasya, some people follow Chaturmasya, so they avoid taking certain types of food products. So these kind of practices which help us in our purification. 28C, Ashtanga Yoga, or we'll see that Ashtanga Yoga later, or it's also pilgrimage, like Yatra, going to Yatra and taking a spiritual vacation, with right mindset people will come to that spiritual realization. Swadhyaya Yajna, right? Scriptural study. You're all in this session, Zoom session, we are right now doing this Swadhyaya Yajna, but only one part of it. Swadhyaya also means learning and practicing. Both should happen. So not just learning, taking into practice also should happen. So that's called Swadhyaya Gnana Yajna. And pranayama, various breathing exercises. So we looked at what kind of different airs in our body, how they circulate, and various breathing exercises, which helps in our control of mind, which helps us who know who we are really. So pranayama is one kind of practice one can take. And towards the end, Krishna says in 31, without sacrifice, without any of these practices, you can't be happy in this world. You can't even be happy in this world. What to speak about the happiness in the next lifetime, right? If a child wants to get good grade, he has to study. He has to study, otherwise he couldn't get good grades. So study is a sacrifice. The child could do many things. She can watch TV, hang out with friends. She could do many things, but she takes time. She takes time for a higher purpose. Higher purpose is to attain good grades. So it's a sacrifice. If a IT employee, if he wants to get good salary, good position, he can't be in the same role, right? If he wants to attain something higher, it's a sacrifice. He can be happy and enjoy his life, or take up a practice. Yes, I want to do this. I'll do this course. Okay, this course is for some time. I'll do this course. I'll take you to the practice, and I target to attain this goal. So to attain that goal, one has to practice. It's a sacrifice. So Krishna clearly says, without sacrifice, nothing can be. Even material life also, it's hard. What to speak about spiritual life, right? It's a sacrifice. It needs a sacrifice. And towards the end, 32 and 33, Krishna says, all these practices, whatever I have told, they all lead you to gain knowledge, gnana. What is that gnana? The gnana that you're not this body, your soul. You'll get the Atma Gnana, and you'll get a clarity. Where are we heading? Spiritual realization. Okay, so we covered this in detail last session. So we'll do this verse today. Or maybe I'll ask someone to read this verse.
Tat viddhi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. The self-realized souls can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth.
So this is a very beautiful verse. Many acharyas, scholars, or many preachers of Bhagavad Gita, they quote this verse many times. Very wonderful verse. Okay, so in this verse, we'll see two things. One is the qualification of a learner, a student, and qualification of a preacher, a teacher. So we'll see both. I'll speak about the context of this verse, why Krishna is speaking this. So tad vidhi means this knowledge. What is this knowledge? The big list we saw in our previous slide. All these practices. Arjuna, you can take up any practice, but you also need to know what suits you, what's fit for you. It's not like you can take any random practice and practice by ourselves and we can attain perfection. No. So we need to see what fits us, what we can do, what we can practice, according to individual needs. Every individual is different. Certain people take up one path and they go faster. Certain people may not go faster in that path. They have to go different path and they can run faster, right? So that's why Krishna is saying all these practices, what I have told, which will help you in self-realization. You can take any of these practices, not by yourself, but find a guru, a spiritual master who knows you, who can understand you, and who can give you what is best for you, what works best for you. Now, if you're going to a training session, a 10 years training, right? 10 years training, the trainer would know what works for us, and he'll give instructions according to our needs. Right? So the instructions may be same for everybody, but certain set of instructions which are pretty much applicable to us. So those kind of instructions has to be gotten from a spiritual master with proper relation, right? from a trainer with proper relation. So same thing. So Krishna is saying, whatever the knowledge I have taught you, Arjuna, you go and learn from a spiritual master. So one may have this question in second chapter, Arjuna surrendered to Krishna. Shishyasteham swadimam prapannam. I surrender to you. I am your student. You become my teacher. You teach me. And now Krishna is saying, you go to someone else. What is this? So what Krishna is saying, again, same thing. Is Krishna wants to teach, but if Arjuna wants to really practice, take it to the practice, certain things, he has to have a guru. Guru is the one, a spiritual master is the one who can guide him clearly according to Arjuna's needs. That is the reason Krishna is directing Arjuna to a guru. So we'll go a little deeper into this verse, phrase by phrase, word by word. So in this verse, Krishna talks about art of learning. Anything in this world, there is an art of learning. And there is art of preaching also. So we can see the common theme here in this verse. So very beautiful verse. So pranipatena. So we'll see the left side. You can see the left side here. There are three things Krishna said, and two things on the right side. So we'll do from the left side. So this is about the qualifications of a learner. So what is that? Pranipatena. Pranipatena. There's two meanings. We'll see. One has to be humble and submissive. Who is that? Learner. Learner cannot demand. If a student wants, my child, okay, I'll take an example. My child wants to learn tennis. I can't go and demand the trainer, hey, I'll throw money on your face. You teach tennis to my daughter. This is a place I live in. You come to my place and you teach my daughter. That will never happen. No teacher in the world will do that. Even though there are some people who does it, that wouldn't help the student. That's not the right way to gain knowledge. So one has to be humble and submissive. It happens like in real world also. If my daughter wants to learn tennis, I need to enroll her in a tennis session and in a submissive way. I can't demand, right? So yeah, humble, submissive, and offer obeisances. Pranipatena means like it's a like Dandava Pranam, right? Offering obeisances to the spiritual master. In the material trainings, we can say like greet your spiritual master, have that relationship by greeting, say hi, how are you, right? So one has to build a relationship with a trainer. The same thing in the spiritual life also, one has to build a relationship with a spiritual master with proper humility and by offering obeisances. So that is one thing, pranipatena. And second thing is pariprashnena, inquiring, inquisitiveness. So it's a teacher is training, student is learning, but is student advancing, progressing? It depends on his inquisitiveness. Is he eager to learn? Is he asking the right questions? His doubts are cleared? Many things factor in. Right? So pariprashnena is very, very important thing, even for material knowledge also. Any material knowledge also. If I'm going to the gym, I have a trainer who is teaching me. I need to ask that person, like, okay, help me. I'm lifting this 5 kg. Am I allowed to lift? Okay, now that I'm lifting, what should I eat? If teacher says, okay, eat certain types of food, the trainer says eat certain type of food. Okay, we need to ask like, okay, yes, I will eat certain type of food. What are you recommended? But I'm a vegetarian. I cannot eat. So these kind of questions, it's a back and forth. One has to ask the questions in such a way which helps the student. So otherwise, it's one direction only. There is no improvement happening. The student remains like a student only forever. He'll never become teacher. So pranipatena, pariprashnena, these are very, very important. Submissiveness, offering obeisances, and inquisitiveness, asking proper questions. And sevaya, third one, sevaya. Sevaya means service, doing a service. Service to them. In the modern world, like we may not go and do the service to the trainers who we learn from any material things. We can say humble obeisances, and most importantly, following their instructions. They're teaching something, one has to take it up and follow. Practice is also equally important. Not just theory, practice also. Once one of the follower of Prabhupada, disciple of Prabhupada, asked Prabhupada, I want to do service to you. I want to do various services to you. Could you engage me in your physical service? And Prabhupada says, yeah, I can do that, but the best service you can do is follow my instructions, read my books, do service at the temple. That is the best service you can do for me. So these are the things. Paripatena, one has to be humble, one has to be inquisitive, and also follow the instructions. These are the qualifications of a learner. This learner can quickly advance. Even for material knowledge also, we can teach to our children. If our children, if they want to advance in any knowledge, any practice, what are they learning, right? This must have. The advancement will be really quick. You can really see that. This one can practically experience this. Okay, so we covered the qualifications of a learner and qualifications of a preacher. I see a chat message. Yes, definitely. So qualifications of a preacher, the person who is teaching, what should be his qualifications? He should be gnanina, knowledgeable. Of course, when I enroll my child, I'll inquire about, again, tennis example. When I enroll my child into a tennis class, I inquire about the trainer, what qualification he has. Has he played tennis before? He has the theoretical knowledge. Has he learned that before? How many tennis games he played before? We know that, right? He has to be knowledgeable. He has to be at least good amount of knowledge he should have. If the trainer only has 10% knowledge, the student also will get only 10% knowledge only, or not 1% only. Right? So the preacher should have really, really good knowledge. He has to spend really good time in learning the things. He has to be knowledgeable. That is one of the must-have factor for a preacher. And Tattvadarshinaha, one who has seen the truth, one who has practical experience, not just theory, one has practical experience. The acharyas, like Srila Prabhupada and various acharyas who have came into this world, they have given this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, they have given this knowledge of Bhagavatam and various scriptural knowledge, not out of theory, but their own personal experience. They have experienced it. They have seen the truth. They realized the truth. They had real experience about love of Godhead. From their experience, they are teaching. Tattvadarshina. The preacher also should have theoretical knowledge and practical experience. All these things must have in a preacher, good preacher. Then, yes, there is a good preacher, there is a good student, data transfer will happen 100%. And the student also will learn and advance. Okay. So life lesson here, humbleness, inquisitiveness, humbleness plus inquisitiveness plus service-mindedness leads to wisdom and perfection. It sometimes is easy to learn in one word, right? A few words. Yes, this is what it is. Okay. So since I want to quickly cover this section, so I didn't put the shlokas or translations, but we'll quickly go over these verses. 35 to 38, results of attaining glories, results and glories of Gnana. Okay. Now Krishna has spoken about various practices, spiritual practices one can take. Those are the practices in Karma Yoga. And Krishna says you can take anything, but approach a spiritual master. No, these are the qualifications of a spiritual master. Find a person who who is very knowledgeable and very practical, with practical experience. And you also should have these qualifications. When you learn from such a person and practice, put it into the practice, this will what will happen. 35 to 38. Okay. No bewilderment. You will never fall again into such illusion. What is that illusion? We are in this big illusion. We are this body. Right? We are in this body. That is a big illusion we are in. And most of the time we are in this I and my zone. Everything, I go, I work, I earn money. This is my mind. This is my money. And everything belongs to me. Only I have to enjoy. Our life mostly revolves between I and mind. So one would come out of that illusion, gets the realization that he is not the body. And 35b bestows pure vision. Pure vision. So one get the realization vision that, what is that? Krishna says, seeing all living beings as parts of me. Do we see all living beings as parts and parcels of Krishna? Right? We don't, right? Most of the time we don't, right? So that's what Krishna is saying. When you take up the practice it sincerely, practice the process, take up the process, practice it, you can see you'll attain the realization about yourself and also the other living entities who is around you. You can see all of them part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. And 36, Krishna says, this destroys sin. When one understands his position, he's not the body, he's soul, and works with proper knowledge, right? I'm doing this work as a service to the Lord, for the pleasure of the Lord, offering the results to the Lord. With proper knowledge, one good and does all the activities, order the practices Krishna said in the previous slide. With proper knowledge and takes the practice, this is what happened. Destroys sins. The gnana, the knowledge one attains, that would destroy the sin. So Krishna gives analogy here, example. So the boat of knowledge makes even the most sinful among sinners cross over the ocean of sins and miseries. Consider like every lifetime we are doing some papa, right? Knowingly and unknowingly, we have been doing many sins. So we talked about this many times. Even while walking on the road, we are killing many insects, knowingly or unknowingly, right? We are sitting on the chair. I'm sitting on the chair and I'm moving like this back and forth. I don't know how many insects or how many living beings I'm killing. Right? So it's like many lifetimes we have been doing this, and compare so many sins to be an ocean, big ocean. Imagine, it's something to visualize. Okay, consider like, okay, this is a big ocean of sins, so many sins. I need to cross from point A to point B on the other side of the ocean. How can I cross that? How can I cross that? What should I do to cross that? Imagine ourselves, okay, I'm swimming by myself. So there's a big ocean and you are swimming by yourself. Is it possible? Is it possible? No, we can't even cross the big ocean. Even though the person, that's the reason Krishna is giving this analogy, like ocean analogy. He could give like a swimming pool analogy. He could give a swimming pool analogy or a small lake analogy, but he's giving as a ocean analogy because it's quite hard to cross the ocean, right? So if you imagine ourselves to crossing the ocean, it's really hard. And imagine ourselves if we are crossing an ocean of miseries, an ocean of sins we have been committing life after lifetimes. Such a big ocean. How can we cross this? We need a boat. Answer is simple. We need a boat. The boat, Krishna is giving, the boat is the knowledge, the gnana one attains by such practices, that when one attains the knowledge about himself, and works spiritual knowledge, I'm talking about, attains spiritual knowledge about himself and also works with this knowledge. So that gnana can become a boat that help you to cross the ocean. So if a person is struggling with a disease, right? Coronavirus, let's take that example, and he doesn't know there is a vaccine. What he has to do? He has two options: either suffer and die, or gain the knowledge, take the vaccine. Problem solved. That's what Krishna is saying. Right? You don't need to suffer and die, and don't need to go through this repeated cycle of birth and death. That's a suffering. Gain the knowledge. Right? The example is similar. If I want to cure myself from coronavirus, I need to take a vaccine or I need to take a medicine. So I need to have that knowledge. When I have the knowledge, I'll go and take the medicine, and I can cure myself. Right? The same thing. So the knowledge here, you can say like knowledge about all the spiritual knowledge or the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So that is the one which helps us to cross this ocean of miseries, ocean of sins, which will help us to leave this ocean and go on the other side. Okay, 37. Hope you are with me. Stop me anytime. So 37, I'm going really fast. I just want to complete this chapter. If you're stuck anywhere, you can post a question and we'll try to answer. So in this previous verse 36, Krishna compared this knowledge to a boat. Take a boat, cross the ocean, problem solved. Right? In 37, Krishna comparing this knowledge to a fire. Right? So what is this fire? I'll read this. The fire of knowledge burns to ashes all reactions to material activities, even piety also. So what is the property of fire? Fire burns off anything. Right? If I put a paper into the fire, it burns off. If I put my phone, well, I don't want to put my phone, but if I put my phone into the fire, it burns off. Right? So that is one property of the fire. Other property of the fire is it refines. If I put gold into the fire, it purifies the gold. The gold may not be ready to use, but if I put into the fire, it purifies. It shines. Right? The same thing. This knowledge, the spiritual knowledge, the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, right? Or you can take what Krishna is saying is the knowledge which exists in Karma Yoga. One has to work with proper consciousness, with proper knowledge. That knowledge will help you. So this knowledge will burn. This knowledge acts as a fire which burns and refines our consciousness. I'll take an example now. Okay, so I'm doing a karma. So this is the common example I take all the time, right? So I'm doing a charitable work. Okay, I'm donating some money to a people in need. If I do the donation, it's a karma. It's an activity. It's a karma. What is the return of it? I'll get a good result, good karma. That means I will never run out of water in my life, in this life or next life. Sufficient water will be given to me when I do this charitable work. Okay, so, but if a person in the path of spirituality, he doesn't want good karma either. It's very important. He doesn't want good karma either. He wants to burn that karma. He wants to burn that karma because he don't want to take birth again. Period. Simple. Right? How to burn that karma? I'm doing this work. Apply mindset. I'm doing this work as a service to the Lord, as a savor to the Lord, without expecting anything in return. The knowledge part is very important, not the action part, the knowledge part. The knowledge part, that's what Krishna is saying. That knowledge part is the one, when you do to me, when we do this activity to the God, in God consciousness, that will burn the karma. There is no reaction to our action. That's what we want. That's the purpose of learning first 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. Is to how to burn the reactions to our actions. And Krishna talks about Bhakti Yoga, how to, when the sins are cleared, how can we focus our mind unto the Supreme Lord by the practice of Bhakti Yoga and attain the Supreme Lord. That is the second half, the middle half of Bhagavad Gita. Bhakti Yoga is so beautiful. So in the first chapter, most of the context is about how to live in this world, what is the right way to work in this world. What is the right way to work in this world? Any work we do will create reactions. Good reactions or bad reactions. If you do good actions, good reactions. If you do bad actions, bad reactions. We need to burn this both, good reaction and bad reaction. Only then we are progressing on the path of spirituality or liberation. So when we do with proper mindset, the mindset will become the fire which will burn away the reaction to the action. 37 and 38. It is pavitram, this knowledge is purest. It's like today I'm taking up the practice. Okay, whatever I said, you're taking a practice, and tomorrow you'll get self-realization or spiritual realization. No, it's a continuous practice. It's a continuous practice. It is not that anything you do with this. Arjuna throughout the end of Bhagavad Gita also says, I cannot do any of these things. It's hard for me. I cannot do. And Krishna says, surrender to me, sarva dharma parityaja. I don't want to reveal this. I don't reveal it. So we'll learn as we go. So this knowledge is very pure. This knowledge is very pure. You want to work with proper consciousness, and you can attain the realization from within, from your own mind, from your own soul. It's like no one will come and kindle anything for you. It comes within. It comes within. Right? If I'm going to gym and practicing, over the time it builds my muscle. That's what Krishna is saying. Over the time it builds your muscle. You'll get a maturity in proper working, following the practice of Nishkama Karma Yoga. Okay, maybe I'll ask someone to read this verse.
Shraddha val labate jnanam tatparah samyatendriyah jnanam ladva param shantim achirena digacchati. A faithful man who is dedicated to transcendental knowledge and who subdues his senses is eligible to achieve such knowledge, and having achieved it, he quickly attains the supreme spiritual peace.
Thank you, Baba. So in this verse, Krishna is saying, who can attain that knowledge? Krishna has been teaching that. Krishna gave a list of practices, and Krishna told Arjuna, you go to a spiritual master, take the practice and follow it sincerely. And the benefits he spoke in the previous session, in the previous slide, you'll burn the sins. You'll burn the sins. You will purify your mind. It's like a fire that will refine, right? It will purify your mind. You purify your consciousness. You'll come out of I and my zone. You'll live for a higher purpose to attain spiritual realization, right? Krishna is saying, who can get that gnana? Who is the person who can get that knowledge? Any random person will get that knowledge? No. Shraddhavan labhati gnanam. Only Shraddhavan, a person who has full faith. Person who has full faith, only such a person can attain gnanam, knowledge, not any random person. So Krishna gives the qualifications here, okay? So one has to have faith. One has to have determination. He must be determined, taking a practice, following, and advancing. One has to have the determination. One has to have a goal and determination towards the goal and faith. And another important aspect here is subduing his senses. It's very important. In any spiritual progression, one has to have good control over senses. Don't let sense run here and there. Sense of eyes wants to see beautiful things. Sense of ears want to hear beautiful things. Sense of tongue, sense of taste wants to taste delicious things. If our senses are running here and there, out of control, of course, mind also will be out of control. If mind is out of control, how can we practice spirituality? There is no, there is no choice. Right? So one has to have good control in the physical level, the body and mind and senses, and one has to have good determination. One has to have determination. One has to be dedicated to the practice and has to have full faith. Okay. So how to develop the faith? It's a very important thing. How to develop the faith? You're saying have faith. How to do that? So faith one gets by knowledge. If a person has knowledge, awareness, he develops the faith. Example, okay? So I'm going to a salon. I'm going to a salon to cut my hair. Right? So that person could cut my head also. Right? How can I trust that person? Instead of cutting my hair, he could cut my head also. I may not have faith. I don't have faith. I can't trust that person. So what should I do to build the faith that he will cut only my hair, not my head? Awareness. Let's take example, Great Clips. Great Clips. Okay, I'll look at Great Clips. Great Clips is a reputed organization. It's a company, it's an organization. They have many stores everywhere. The people who are working there, they're not criminals, they are good people. They only cut your hair, not your head. So one has to have that awareness, one knowledge, right? When a person has that knowledge, it builds a faith. Yes, I have this knowledge now. I look at the reviews, Google reviews. I went into the Google reviews. Now I can trust this person. So when we have that awareness, knowledge, obviously we'll trust that person. Now about spirituality. How can you all trust the spirituality, the subject matter of Bhagavad Gita? How can we have faith in the subject matter of Bhagavad Gita? It's simple. It is spoken by the Supreme Lord. It is well accepted by many acharyas, many saintly people, and it is being practiced throughout the world. Throughout the world. If you say ISKCON, right? ISKCON, International Society of Krishna Consciousness, many people are taking up and practicing Krishna consciousness throughout the world. Every country has a place where spirituality is being preached, right? The knowledge about Atma, the knowledge about the purpose of life, the knowledge about to attain the Supreme Lord. What is the way? How can we practice? How can we attain? That is being taught. If we gain that knowledge, yes, this organization will help me. When we have that awareness, knowledge, we can progress. we'll build our faith. When we build our faith, we are determined. Faith plus determination also. And control our senses is easy, right? When you're practicing, if you say ISKCON, right, in our Krishna consciousness, people are practicing, there are set of rules. One should not eat meat, one should not drink alcohol, and one should stay away from illicit relations with other women and gambling, and various practices, right? That will help us to control our mind, control our senses. The spiritual practices, those really help. Okay, faith, determination, good control over the senses. By practicing spirituality, one can easily advance and can attain achirenadhi gacchati. One attain this full spiritual consciousness, peace of mind. Everybody wants it, right? Everybody wants it. So in regards to faith, there is a nice an example about Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada, he's a founder Acharya of ISKCON. And in the beginning days, he's grown up in the spiritual culture. But when he met his guru, his teacher, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, he used to regularly attend. And one day, the teacher told Prabhupada, "You are good at English. You can translate all this Sanskrit to English and take this knowledge to outside country like USA." And the age of Prabhupada was like really old, like he was in 60s. And he sincerely followed the instructions of his spiritual master. And his spiritual master said, "This knowledge is so glorious. This will help many people. Many people. This knowledge will help many people to attain perfection. Go and preach this." And Prabhupada, with full faith, determination, he preached. He came to the US and preached this Bhagavad Gita and many things. I know many people are practicing today. It started in US, in New York, and many people are practicing, like in California, like every state, almost every state in US, and in Africa, Pakistan, right, China. ISKCON has centers everywhere. Like many people are practicing Krishna consciousness. How it started? With faith and determination. Yes, this knowledge is really good. This will help me, and this will also help everybody. Okay. In short, who can attain knowledge? The person who has faith, determination, has good control over senses. Such a person can attain the knowledge and progress in the path of spirituality. That's what I said. Okay, verse 40. So I request someone to read this.
Ajñas cha shraddhadanascha samsayatma vinashyati nayam lokosti na paro na sukham samsayatmanah. But ignorant and faithless persons who doubt the revealed scriptures do not attain God consciousness. They fall down. For the doubting soul, there is happiness neither in this world nor in the next.
Thank you, Baba. So in the previous verse, Krishna said, who can attain the gnana? Who can attain the knowledge, the spiritual knowledge? So it is not about the knowledge, it's about the realization. It's about the realization. By practice, one gets a result, the realization. Right? So who can get the realization? Krishna talked about in the previous verse. The person who has good faith, good determination, dedication, and control over the senses. Such a person can gain. This verse is exactly opposite. Who cannot gain? Right? If a person is ignorant, is faithless, doubtful, such a person will never gain any knowledge, any realization. And he will not attain God consciousness. He will fall down. And he will not have happiness in this world or next world. He cannot break the cycle of birth and death. He goes into this repeated cycle of birth and death, struggles himself, does PhD, does jobs, 80 years, 90 years, done, die, and will take birth again as animal or a bird or as an insect, goes through these various life cycles and attains the human body again. And after attaining human body, goes to kindergarten, learns ABCD 1 to 3, and go to what are the struggles depends on his karma. If he has good karma, good credits, he can he can be given nice facilities. If he has bad karma, bad karma, then be bad facilities, he will struggle. It goes on, it goes on. Who so one has to break this cycle. The whole purpose of learning Bhagavad Gita is break the cycle of birth and death. That can be possible. By whom? One who sincerely practices. So here Krishna is taking who cannot attain gnana, the realization. The person is ignorant, faithless, doubtful. So let's take with an example, right? I'll connect all three. If a person has this disease, skin disease, he doesn't know what this disease is about, what options he has. He can cure himself or struggle or go through the pain, or he can get a awareness. Okay, this problem, I need to go to this doctor, skin specialist, who can cure my problem, right? So from ignorance, I'm gaining the knowledge. I need to go to doctor. Now I'm going to the doctor. I need to also have faith in the doctor or trust the doctor. If I don't trust the doctor, okay, this guy, he will never cure me. I don't trust this guy. Right? If you don't have a faith, we don't even go. If a person wants to cure his disease, he has to have knowledge who is the doctor and has to have trust the doctor. Yes, this doctor will cure me. And not just that, that is the two things. Knowledge and faith, and also shouldn't doubt. This is the third thing, the third aspect. If a person has a disease, going to doctor, he's trusting the doctor. He passed the 2 stages. The third stage is doubt stage. He's practicing. Now, doctor said, you take this medicine 3 times a day. And this person is doubtful. Really, what kind of doctor is, I will not take. I'll take only 1 time a day. Would the medicine work? It may not perfectly, it may work, but it may not really cure the disease, right? One has to really practice, should not doubt. Should not doubt. So these are 3 important aspects one must have. That is, gain knowledge, build a faith, do not doubt. If a person doesn't have the knowledge, is ignorant, faithless, doubtful, such a person cannot break the cycle of birth and death. Okay? Who cannot attain knowledge? The realization of a self, ignorant, faithless, and doubtful. There's no happiness in this world or next. The last 2 verses will finish in few minutes and we can end this chapter. Okay, these are easy to go. Maybe I'll ask someone to read.
Yoga sanyasta karmanam jnana sandhinna samshayam atmavantam na karmani nibhadnanti dhananjaya. One who acts in devotional service, renouncing the fruits of his actions, and whose doubts have been destroyed by transcendental knowledge, is situated factually in the self. Thus, he is not bound by the reactions of work, O conqueror of riches.
Thank you, Babu. So Krishna is concluding this chapter. He is saying, when you gain the knowledge, when you attain the realization, the gnana, knowledge, is the one which destroys, burns away. Krishna gave the example fire that will burn away all your karmic reactions. So what you should do, again, it's kind of repetitive. Again, it's for us, it's for our benefit, right? One has to act in devotional service as a bhakti yukta seva, as a service to the Lord. any actions. That action will not produce any new reaction. Renouncing the fruits of his actions. Yes, I'm doing this service to the Lord. I don't worry about what will happen, success or failure. I leave it to the God. Let God give whatever he has to give. I trust God. I believe in the God. I'll do this work as a savor to the Lord, as a service to the Lord, savor to the Lord. If a person works in that and whose doubts have been destroyed by knowledge, what kind of doubts? Will this help me? Really? If I do this, if I work in this consciousness, will this help me? If a person is doubtful, he cannot advance. By this proper knowledge, if a person works, he can burn these karmic reactions. And he will not be bound by reactions of work. That's why Krishna is saying, Nibadhanti Dhananjaya. You will not be bound by reactions of the work. Again, same thing, right? If you work in proper consciousness, proper mindset as a service to the Lord, don't worry about success or failure, offer the result to the Lord, and work in this consciousness, the action itself will not produce any new reaction. So these are all Karma Yoga verses. The theme in different ways, you can see the theme is same. So we should not forget the theme. So I'm repeating that again. The theme I'm repeating. Okay. The last verse in this chapter, maybe I'll request someone to read this.
तस्मादज्ञानसम्भूतं हृत्सं ज्ञानासीनात्मनः चित्वैनं संशयं योगम् आतिष्ठोत्तिष्ठ भारत. Therefore, the doubts which have arisen in your heart out of the ignorance should be slashed by the weapon of knowledge. Armed with yoga, O Bharata, stand and fight.
Yeah, this is the last verse in this 4th chapter. Krishna is saying, therefore, the doubts which have arisen in your heart out of ignorance. So what is the doubt? Biggest doubt Arjuna had in the beginning of the 1st chapter. He thought killing is a sin. He will get sinful reactions. Krishna said, no, that is your duty. Do your job. That is your duty. Do your job. But while doing your job, you do with proper consciousness, mindset, with proper knowledge, awareness, that as a seva to the Lord, you become instrument in my hands and work with that consciousness. Offer the result to me. Don't worry about anything. Just do the work with as a seva to me. So that your doubts will be cleared when you work, when you gain the knowledge. Your doubts will be cleared. Krishna gave various practices. Again, connecting back, Krishna spoke about various practices. You can take up any of these practices and work with that consciousness as a service to the Lord, and you can clear all your doubts. You'll get a clarity in mind. Your mind is purified, your consciousness is purified. The theme is same. Again, you do. Krishna is saying, Arjuna, get up and fight. I hope this knowledge is clear to you. Work with proper mindset. Work with proper mindset. The proper knowledge, awareness as a seva to me. Then you can easily break the cycle of birth and death. And your work is not a sinful act. That's what Arjuna thought. His work is a sinful act. Krishna says no. You can, now you have this weapon of knowledge. Arjuna did not have this knowledge before, and Krishna has given this weapon, the formidable weapon. The weapon is compared to knowledge. Krishna is giving this weapon. Use this weapon, destroy these doubts. Use this weapon, destroy your doubts. Stand up and do your duty. It is applicable for everybody. We are all working every day. Right? So Krishna is teaching what is the right way to work in this world. So by such working, we can No, work should not be a burden. It's very important thing. Most of the time we think, why my duty is a burden? No. That's why any duty, don't think. If it is a burden, try to find a work which is not a burden. Right? But put your 100% effort. Do your duty with proper consciousness as a seva to the Lord, as a service to the Lord, becoming the instrument in the hands of the Lord. Think that God is making a plan for you in your advancement. Then work is not a burden at all. We can easily succeed in any work we do. Even if you want to progress in our career, yes, apply Bhagavad Gita knowledge. Can easily progress. We'll put 100% effort in our current work. We'll put 100% effort and 100% endeavors and effort in learning something or whatever needed to advance. We'll do that as a seva to the Lord, and we can advance. So anyone, any person, like a child, a person who is working, or an elderly person, this applies, this knowledge applies. Anyone can attain perfection. It's not just to Arjuna. So Arjuna, in case of Arjuna, he has to get up and fight. But in case of us, we all go through this battle of Kurukshetra every day in our mind. We curse the work, we hate our boss, right? And we hate the people around us. No. See everything equally, see everybody equally, work with proper consciousness as a seva to the Lord. We can attain perfection. We can break the cycle of birth and death. So with that, I'll end this session. I also will end this chapter 442. And most importantly, is Arjuna convinced? Arjuna has been listening 4 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is trying to persuade Arjuna to do his duty with proper mindset. Is Arjuna convinced? No. No. Krishna spoke many chapters, 18th up to 18th chapter. Krishna has to speak. Why Arjuna is not convinced, we'll see in our next section. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for the wonderful class, Prabhu.